put on the chat box 111. Let me know that you can hear me, please. Thank you. Okay. That's good. So you are all highly welcome, and on behalf of the international management team, I want to appreciate you all for keeping up to date to this training, and I'm also have missed you guys for some time now, but I'm happy to be on board today as already directed to champion today's course. I also want to appreciate the team in Dr. Leon Lee, H. Williams, in Essential for all their great impact so far. And I guess they are yet to join us, but we have to proceed because I've been briefed already. So based on yesterday's class, in order to have a very brief recap, but before then, let me welcome the governor, the deputy governor. I guess they're already seated for their brief opening remark. Then I can now proceed further to lead today's program or training. Thank you. The governor, over to you. If the governor is not seated, then the deputy governor take over the mic. Thank you. The governor Ezenwa seated. I guess he's not yet here. Okay, the deputy governor, over to you, please, for your opening remark. Yeah, I can hear you slightly. Just increase your voice a bit, then we can take it up from there. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Good evening. Welcome to class today. Please, as I earlier stated in the chat box, we should all try to endeavor to get the best out of today's class. Let's us all comport ourselves, mute our mics, and pay attention to what we taught today. And like I said, if you have any question, jot it down as it will be addressed. I don't know. I'm trying to be as loud as possible. But I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm trying to be as loud as possible here. So jot down every necessary questions you might have, and avoid to interrupt the class. So you should have your pen and paper beside you by now, and try to get the most out of this class. So we hope today's class will be productive and engaging, and are also excited to learn from you. No one is an island of knowledge or wisdom, so we can get the best from each other. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, the Deputy Governor, for that wonderful input from your end. And I guess we are good to go at this point. So if we have any question from yesterday's class or from the previous class, please can you kindly raise up your hand? Then once I call you, you can ask your question. Then I will be able to clarify within the best of my knowledge. Then we take it off from there. Just raise up your hand, and once your case has been addressed, then you can put down your hand accordingly. Okay, at this point, over to you, Adority. Thank you. Kindly unmute yourself and speak. Adesami Adority.
Yes, I can get you. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, my first question is this. Is it possible as a safety officer to be faced with a situation whereby you cannot have answer or solution to a safety concern on a project site? Is it possible for a safety officer to be faced with a situation whereby you don't have a solution to a particular safety concern, and what should such a safety officer do in such a situation? Probably a task is to be carried out, and it requires some safety concern, and the safety officer does not really know what to do in that regard. What should be his next action?
If you allow me to answer that question, first, as a safety officer or safety manager, safety supervisor on site, you are fully knowledgeable about the subject matter. And if you are a new employee, it's a different ballgame. Even if you are a new employee, you need to be up to date with the knowledge of your field. You are not coming to any organization to come and learn health and safety. The organization have employed you to come and solve the problem and lead everybody to a safe home at the end of each work, and to communicate policies, design procedures, communicate with the right characters and behaviors. If you listen to us class yesterday, that will give you a clearer picture of the behaviors, the attitude you are supposed to exhibit as a health and safety professional at various levels. So with that understanding, I don't think there is any knowledge or any challenge or any issue that should be able to put you in a stagnant stage. Can you kindly mute yourself? The moderator, can you please do your job? And the deputy governor, can you do your job, please? So you need to ensure one step ahead of every step. I can remember very vividly my lectures, and I made it very clear. If you are not a step ahead of any challenge that is subject to happen, then you have a problem. The job don't have a problem. The controller have a problem. Possibly you don't know your job. Possibly you are distracted. Possibly you are not well trained. You don't know your left and right. Anywhere you are pushed to, you dance to the tune. There are some safety officers like that. The managing director will come to the site and said, some of these safety issues are not looking good, or maybe some of the workers need to change it. You dance to that role. Another supervisor or project manager will come and say, all these stops here, they need to do. Anywhere they push you down, you don't have a plan. And in such situation, at the end of the beginning of the job to the end of the job, you are just being pushed around like television and remotes. It's a very bad state of work. Because a safety supervisor, safety manager, if we say safety marshals, those ones are under supervisors. Safety officers, depending on the size of the organization, they are under supervisors or under director. It's a different ball game. But if you are the only one, or maybe you are two or three, and you are expected to act as a lead, then your brain must have to be working. Your brain must have to be working. That is what I can say. Any lapses within your job role is your duty to address it. If you fail to do so and it results to accident or incident, you'll be held responsible. There is no explanation to that. There is no, if it's in the Western world, you answer the queries irrespective of your explanation or excuses. You can want to cook up or build up. So safety is all about life and death. It's a serious game, and you must have to be serious if you are a safety personnel, as you rightly said. But if you are an engineer, you are doing your engineering installations and things like that, and following safety rules and all that. If you have a challenge, you have to lay your challenges to the safety personnel or the safety department. they will see to your problems and solve your problem, because that is not your core role. You are an installation engineer, but you are also doing your job in a safe way, doing the needful whistle blowing in terms of incident, accident, unsafe conditions, unsafe acts from other co-workers or other artisans in the site or at the office. So that is understand. That is not your job to take action. But if your role was employed as a safety administrator, safety coordinator, whatever title it is, you must sit up and your brain must work. And if it's in the developed countries like this, once one gap, there is no second chance. If many of you that have people abroad, you should make inquiries. There is no second chance. You mess up, you answer the queries. If you need to go to jail, fine. You need to pay, fine. Then from there, your licenses and you'll be blacklisted. It's not like Africa, you're a safety manager or safety supervisor, somebody dies, somebody's hands and leg is off. You are still there speaking English, explaining rubbish. So this is just Africa, not in the developed countries. That is my explanation to that, and also a learning outcome for many of you. Thank you so much. Does that explanation help, please?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Over to you, Zoom user. I don't know if you were in the opening session. You were told everyone to change your names to the appropriate names as the case may be. Do you understand? You are asked to change your name to someone's name. It's very, very important. Okay. I think you are being helped to change your name to a stone. Stone is a name. In Europe, we have stone as a name. We have leaf, we have sand, we have sun. They are all names. So Stone, over to you, please. Stone, kindly unmute yourself. Ask your question.
Hello.
Go ahead, please.
Good evening. My name is Letitia.
Okay.
I would
You're
like
welcome.
to ask, thank you. I would like to ask if it's appropriate for a safety supervisor or safety officer to go to senior high school or junior high school to educate the kids about the fire safety and prevention and all that, or is a duty of fire service to do that? Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's a very brilliant question, and I would love to tell you, for many of you and even some of the trained officers, is a voluntary move you are talking about, and is accepted in the society because many professionals out there have seen safety as a business, and that is wrong. If you listen to us, you will be able to understand that safety is a charity work. Safety is a humanitarian work. Safety is not just gathering certificates and making good money. Yes, you make good money. Yes, you make good money, but that is not a core subject issue. It's to help humanity, it's to help others, it's to guide others, it's to direct others, it's to counsel others. You get it? So that is the way it should be. If you have some spare time, you enter primary school, you enter secondary school, talk to the principal. Can you lecture these people on fire safety? Can you lecture them on the need and importance of zebra crossing? Can you lecture them on the importance of stress management, even as small as it is, and the issue of use of fire extinguishers? Can you lecture them on the security tips and things like that? It's a very good initiative any sensible safety professional can do. Do you understand? Actually, it's a collective responsibility of everyone. But some people will say, it's not my role. Fire service should go and do that. Even the fire service, you can attest to that in the developing countries, even the fire service you mentioned, they don't do that. Go and check. How many primary schools have they visited since 2025? They will say none. How many did you visit 2024? Possibly none. The highest they will tell you, okay, some people visited the fire service. That's what they will tell you. Some people visited the fire service. Can somebody move Grace to waiting room, please? Please, let's be very active to motivate people, because some of them are not aware that, yes, they are not very much aware that they need to moot. Some people can be everybody with their own characters and behaviors. That is why the health and safety professionals are there. You know, somebody asked me a question sometime. He said, that is an MD chief executive. He said, what are the roles of these people? He doesn't have to be spending so much money and this, that, and all that. He can literally just buy safety equipment, give them safety shoe, hand glove, and all that. And that is a typical understanding or knowledge of a lot of chief executives, employers in the developing countries. But we learning in this class today need to change that narrative. We must change it. Do you get? Safety is all about your brain. Safety is all about the people, not what you wear to go to site or how you control or police people. No. You need a system. You need a strategy. You need intelligence for you to do that. So that is the way it works. So any other person, please. Yeah, any other person for questions? The initial person that asked question, was there my explanation, is it very clear? The summary is that it's well supported and is encouraged. Is it very clear to you, please?
Yes, please. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Letitia, for that understanding. So, any other question? Okay, we are in lapse. We always have 30 minutes for entrance and registrations and questions. So we are in lapse that. So let's have one or two video clips, then we proceed to the lecture of today. Thank you for your compliance. Thank you.
Proactive environment where safety is to the module. Effective health and safety management starts with strong leadership. As a manager, your actions shape the safety culture, influence risk management, and ensure compliance with legal standards. The responsibility to protect workers goes beyond following regulations. It's about creating a proactive environment where safety is ingrained in everyday practices. In this module, we'll explore the core elements of managing health and safety, from understanding legal duties to implementing robust safety systems. You'll learn how to foster a positive safety culture, ensure competence, and use the Plan, Do, Check, Act model for continuous improvement in your workplace. Learning objectives. By the end of this module, develop strategies to foster standards, preventing accidents and injuries that could lead to costly penalties and reputational damage. Proactively managing safety not only protects employees, but also fosters a positive work environment, enhancing overall organizational success. To achieve this, businesses must implement 5 core elements essential for creating a truly safe workplace. These elements are legal duties. Health and safety, like any other department in an organization, requires proper administration and record keeping. In line with the Management of Health and Safety at Work Regulations 1999, Companies must implement specific procedures to meet minimum legal requirements. For organizations with more than 5 employees, the following must be in place: a documented health and safety policy for reference, risk assessments for activities properly prepared and recorded, documented risk mitigation plans based on the assessment, health and safety information readily available to employees, appropriate supervision at all times, regular feedback sought from the workforce, clear instructions and training offered to employees as needed, access to external health and safety advice or consultancy for workers. Risk profiling. Employers should be aware of the natural risks present in their daily operations, as well as the possibility of unexpected events or accidents that could alter the situation. To ensure the safety and well-being of their workforce, they need to create a comprehensive workplace profile that anticipates the potential causes and consequences of each risk. These risks can range from extreme weather or flooding to power outages or other disruptions to productivity. To assess these risks, they should identify the nature and level of potential risks within the organization, evaluate the likelihood of each risk occurring and the impact it could have, estimate the cost of mitigating or preventing each risk, determine the effectiveness of actions aimed at managing those risks. Health and safety management systems. There are several formal health and safety management systems available online for reference and use by businesses. These systems offer clear structures for assigning responsibility, ownership of tasks, and procedures to track improvements. If a manager is unsure how to organize their organization's health and safety protocols, these systems can provide a well-documented, structured approach. The decision to adopt these examples is entirely up to the organization. Options include national.
While the lecture is ongoing, please, I want you all to pay attention. I want you to be noting your points, because this very topic we are addressing now is the topic of today, health and safety management system. So once I'm done with this slideshow now, I'll be able to proceed from there for the topic of today. So I guess that this presentation is going to help. It's part of my presentation. So kindly note that as we proceed. Thank you.
And international standard plans, such as the quality management system, tailored in-house management systems, and sector-specific frameworks, like the chemical industry's responsible care framework. The key is that the system works effectively within the organization and helps maintain high health and safety standards. Documentation essentials. Records and documentation are a vital component of any organization's health and safety management. Whether it's an accident book or fire evacuation instructions, it's crucial that information is readily accessible in physical form or online for quick reference. In addition to being immediately available during emergencies, this information should be organized in clear, concise formats. The last thing needed in a crisis is someone sifting through numerous binders to locate an employee's medical record. Therefore, health and safety records should be kept in easily accessible formats with an efficient search system in place. Cultivating positive attitudes and behaviors. A health and safety management system can only be effective if it is fully adopted and embraced by the workforce. Employers can set rules and standards, but if employees don't follow them, they become ineffective in practice. While it may seem unlikely that staff would disregard safety, overconfidence can lead them to accept unnecessary risks as part of the job. However, this can be avoided. With strong leadership and clear communication of the benefits, a good manager can instill high health and safety standards within the organization. The ultimate goal is to create a workplace with an impeccable safety culture, where employees operate in a risk-free environment.
Insurance feels better when you've just used Confused.com.
Are you doing enough? As a manager or team leader, it's crucial to assess your ability to motivate and inspire your team continuously. In senior roles, leading by example sets the standard for others. Employees at all levels must understand their role in promoting safe behavior and act responsibly when managing health and safety. Everyone contributes to a safe work environment, and leadership through action is vital for maintaining high safety and motivation standards. In a busy workforce, 3 key factors to consider are leading and managing health and safety effectively. An effective manager must understand their responsibilities and how the workforce functions. To ensure the organization is upholding health and safety standards, regularly ask questions such as, do you model and communicate good health and safety practices? Are you aware of all risks within your organization, and are employees informed of them? Are you and fellow managers receptive to feedback and taking action on health and safety concerns? Do you know how health and safety are measured and maintained? Do you know who your health and safety representative is? If you answer no to any of these, it's time to become more involved in health and safety management. Promoting safety standards and ensuring an accredited management system is in place will support continuous improvement and employee well-being. Ensuring competence and training. The management of health and safety at work, Regulations 1999, requires employers to appoint a competent person, employee, contractor, or external specialist, to manage health and safety. Key criteria include knowledge, skills, qualifications, availability, and alignment with the organization's safety culture. When selecting for this role, ask, are they aware of specific risks and capable of managing them? Do they understand their responsibilities? Can they be covered during their absence? Do they possess the required skills or fill knowledge gaps? Do they have the right qualifications and availability? Can they train others? Do they align with the organization's safety culture? If these criteria are met, you found a competent health and safety champion, or the manager may take on this responsibility in smaller businesses.
What if you can create your own website by saying, this is what I want? With Wix, you can.
Worker consultation and involvement. To maintain effective health and safety standards, workforce involvement is crucial in areas like information distribution, safety training, and consultation. Managers should engage employees in risk assessments, consider special needs, and encourage active contributions. Key questions include, are employees consulted before health and safety changes are made? Has the workforce size or structure changed recently? Who directs the workforce in emergencies? Are there any communication issues? Do physically impaired employees need assistance in emergencies? Is the training adequate? When was the last emergency drill? These questions help assess whether employees are sufficiently engaged and identify areas for improvement in health and safety communications. The Plan, Do, Check, Act model. The Plan, Do, Check, Act, PDCA, model is a continuous improvement framework used to manage and enhance processes, ensuring systematic progress. In health and safety, adopting a formal management system is an effective way to uphold high well-being standards within an organization. However, if a reliable and efficient system is already in place, formalization may not be necessary. The PDCA cycle allows organizations to proactively manage health and safety by planning actions, implementing them, monitoring results, and making improvements as needed, ensuring a sustainable approach to maintaining a safe and healthy work environment. The following sections will discuss the model in detail. Plan. To establish a high standard of health and safety management, it's crucial to assess your organization's current state and define your desired outcomes. Once you have a clear vision, create a plan that includes the following. Clearly outline your objectives, assign responsibility, and detail how the actions will be implemented. This will serve as your policy. Set measurable indicators to track progress, such as monitoring the annual number of accidents, with a reduction indicating success. Consider potential risks like fire, flooding, and other disasters, and explore opportunities to collaborate on emergency procedures with local organizations. Regularly review and update your policy to ensure continuous improvement. Do. Once you've planned your actions to improve health and safety, the next step is to implement them.
We're sitting duck.
A manager should follow a three-step approach. Identify risks. Recognize all potential risks and outline strategies to mitigate each one. This should align with any previous risk assessments or profiling that has been done. Organize activities. Arrange the necessary activities to execute your plan, ensuring you have the support of the workforce and other stakeholders. Also, confirm that you have the required resources to carry out the plan effectively. Implement the plan. Put the risk mitigation measures into action. Ensure that appropriate equipment, training, instructions, and supervision are in place to successfully execute the plan. Check. Once a policy is established and a plan is put into action, it's essential to monitor the results to ensure they positively impact health and safety standards. This demonstrates commitment to the changes and helps strengthen the safety culture within the organization. To effectively check the results, you should measure and present data that indicates a positive change in the workplace environment, ensuring all aspects of your plan are being implemented. Evaluate the effectiveness of risk mitigation strategies. Confirm adherence to safety standards and conduct audits or drills if needed. Review and investigate any accidents or near misses that occur. Ensure the plan is making a tangible difference in the workplace environment. Act. With plans and checks in place, you're now ready to evaluate the effectiveness of what has been implemented and identify any potential areas for further improvement. To complete this final stage, you should review the organization's performance and safety record to ensure improvements are being made. If not, consider repeating the cycle and adjusting your policy or plan. Compare your organization's safety records and statistics with those of similar companies to identify opportunities for improvement. Reassess existing plans and policies to determine if any updates or revisions are needed. Act on suggestions from reviews, audits, or employee feedback to enhance safety practices. Highlights from the module. Health and safety, like any other department in an organization, requires proper administration and record keeping. Workplace risks can range from extreme weather or flooding to power outages or other disruptions to productivity. Health and safety records should be kept in easily accessible formats with an efficient search system in place. Managers should engage employees in risk assessments, consider special needs, and encourage active contributions. The PDCA model is a continuous improvement framework used to manage and enhance processes, ensuring systematic progress. Thank you. You have successfully made it to the end of this module.
Thank you so much. I think we have really done justice to these topics, and today talking about health and safety management system with the clip that we have watched now, I guess we have really grabbed a lot. So let me use a few minutes to make this very interactive for us to learn, because we have professionals who are also in this class running the managerial level programs, running supervisory, and those running officers, and also, of course, the scholarship student doing the workplace health and safety course. So can I have your hands if you have, just in one sentence, your understanding of the clip we have just watched now, in one sentence. Just your hands I need, then I call you, you'll be able to speak accordingly, please. Anybody? Do we actually took notes of some of the clips, some of the notes, what the instructor really pick out for us? You know, he have really made my job more easier this evening. Okay, Olumide raised his hand up. Olumide, 1 minute, go ahead please, before I just give a summary of that clip.
Yeah, okay, good evening. The clip we just watched about managing health and safety. So we started with telling us the hazard, the risk at work can be from low to extreme, and they gave us certain things that we can do to ensure, like a core element of managing health and safety at work. Talk about the legal duties, that is what is required even to be done. That is, for instance, it is legal for an employer to make sure that there is a safe workplace and a safe work procedure. So all those things has even to even provided. Another thing is your risk profiling. That is, workers need to be informed. That is, you need to tell them about the risk that is available or applicable.
Yeah, Olumide, we can't hear you clearly. Once more again, possibly network.
We want to make sure that the procedure is followed. Make a clear structure and appoint responsibility. Another thing is documentation essential. So the need for documentation, because if it is not documented, it is not done. Then talking about cultivating a positive attitude and behavior. So then before, we now have to ask our question whether are we doing enough? Then for us to do enough, we must ensure competence and training. And in that we need to understand that knowledge, skill, qualification, and availability. So then we need to consult worker and involve them in risk assessment. Then before we end up with plan, do, check, and act approach. So with that, from the plan, make your clear vision and create your plan. Then from there, your objective, write your objective, then assign responsibility. Then you go to do, that is what you have planned, you implement it. Then you identify your risks, organize activities, implement the plan, go to check, monitor results and ensure compliance. Then before you go to act, that is, you evaluate effectiveness of your plan, of your plan, what you have done, and so you monitor it, identify area for improvement. So before all these things can be effectively done. Thank you.
Please, can we clap for Mr. Olumide? Can we just clap for him using your electronic hands, please? Clap for him. He have really done a very good recap, and I guess that every one of us have gotten that very clearly. Thank you so much, Olumide. And that should be Olumide from Ghana. Is that Ghana?
No, Nigeria.
Oh, Nigeria, I see. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, fine. I think he have given a very summary, a very clear summary for us to really understand what we really watched, talking about proper administration and record keeping. And he mentioned something is not documented, is not done. That is just it. Do you understand? So, health and safety administration and management is not something you do anyhow you want it. You just wake up and just cook up things, no planning, no proper structure in place. Then you are bound to have problem at the start and towards the end of that very task, because health and safety is all about planning. Do you understand? So record keeping is an evidence to show that you have done the needful, and at the end of the day, you are able to show that yes, you have completed this task. Or you have trained some workers, you have to show evidence that you have trained them, you have to show good proof. Then another point he mentioned very key is the issue of engaging the workers, the employees, the co-workers. Engagement, very, very important. These are the takeaway of that very clip. Engaging is very, very important. You need to communicate. A safety officer or who want to be a safety representative in any role, without communication, then you are incomplete. What makes you complete is communication. That what makes you complete. Even if you are not a safety officer, maybe you are an engineer, you are doing your own job, or you saw something, you have to say something. You see something, you say something. You don't just say it's not my business, it's not my work. Let the safety officers, let the safety managers, when they say it, let them control it. Because it may cause more disastrous, more dangerous outcome before they're able to say it. So you that saw it need to act. That is the way it flows. And the plan to study art, as the case may be, is a routine, is a system that must be used. Because you can release your own system. A project manager, one of the project manager or somebody or one of the staff or one of the management staff may not like it. They will call your attention and say, they heard what you did in this department and all that. They don't want such system, or they don't want such disturbances. They will see it as a disturbance. Do you understand? Or maybe you want to have a safety talk with their workers in their department in so time. They may object it and say they don't need it. Or maybe they don't want it the time you have scheduled it. So all these things is all about restructuring for you not to know, okay, you are not going to be doing this particular timing, you are going to be doing it this particular timing. So everything changes until you get the mind of everybody, you get everybody in line of what your plan and what your decision is. So the point is, what is your decision? Do you have decision? Do you have plan? Do you have an objective? Do you get? So these are the issues. Because I'm speaking from the perspective of our people, where you will see somebody who said, what do you want me to do? And I will do. You don't go with that mentality into a field like this, because you will keep so many people because of the lapses, because of not able to communicate, because of not able to think ahead and act ahead. Then so many things will go wrong. Do you get? So, is a leadership role. Can you put on the chart box, safety is a leadership role? Even if you have a boss, they expect you to act. They expect you to use your senses and your brain to design, because your boss is not in the site. You are the one in the site. Will you not say, okay, let my boss, when he comes to the site, let him say it? No. So you need to take leadership. If you don't act as a leader, irrespective of the role they say you should play, then you are going to have problem at the end of the day. I'm telling you. So safety is a leadership role. even if they say you are a traffic marshal, you know, when you are having a construction site, they will recruit so many safety personnel. They will say, okay, your role just be flagging the safety flag or the safety, the red flag, you know, to control the traffic at the. That's part of the safety role. So you still have to exercise leadership, because you are to stop vehicle, you are to give instruction when vehicle should go, you are to communicate if the road are free for vehicle to continue or not. It's leadership. You don't say, let them do what, if they want to pass, let them pass. If they want to stop, let them stop. They ask you to just to stay here. Then you now wait for accidents to happen. You should wait for accident to happen, because definitely accident is going to happen. Then when it happens, the manager will say, but they asked you to stay here and be controlling and be flagging. You said yes, but this one was stubborn. He said he wanted to pass, and you just allow him to pass, and he went and hit the truck. So in such incident, you are the fault. What is the fault? Lack of leadership. You may have distinction in safety, but the point, you have zero in leadership. And because of that lack of skills of leadership you have, will cause a whole lot of outcome that at the end of the day may cost you your job, or may cost you your relationship with the institution or with the organization. Then it won't be a good outcome for you. That is the way it works. Now, looking at the slide, health and safety management system is what we want to look into at this point. And is nothing but talking about how do we manage safety, a summary of what we have had earlier before now. Guideline on health and safety management system. It's all about talking about the guidelines. Yeah, talking about the guidelines. Talking about employers' involvement. Employers' involvement. Because you need to work closely with your employer, and you need to give directives where necessary, advice where necessary to your employer. Working with contractors, with consultants, managers' involvement. Yes, it can be project managers, it can be, vendors of various kinds. You must have an involvement with all these people. Supervisor involvement, employee and other stakeholders, safety representative working together. So safety is all about working together. It's all about, cooperation. It's all about cooperation. That is what we are talking about there. Now, when it comes to guideline, in health and safety administration, what are we talking about? We are talking about the policy. We are talking about the policy. What is policy? From the cadre of scholarship students that are here, not professionals, can somebody raise his hand to let me know, what do you understand by policy? I know your answer may not be correct. I will accept it. But that is for us to see from a layman understanding. Can you raise your hand if you want to talk, please? What is policy? Candidates? Okay. Arefa, go ahead, please.
All right. Thanks for the opportunity, and good afternoon to everyone. To my understanding, policy is a draft or a documentary folder or a file that is being gathering.
Yeah.
You.
No. Okay. It's like your network is shaking. Yeah. Policy is like a file or a document. That is what we heard, Arefa. Okay, fine. You tried.
Please, I was saying that it's a file, a document that guide an activity.
That guides and activities, yeah, of the workers and things. Thank you so much. Your network is shaking. You made
like
a very
production company, their policy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Arefa, for that wonderful input. I will summarize it shortly. Okay, Ebe, over to you, please. Ebe, over to you. Fabrice, also.
Okay, good evening.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
An organization policy is just like a written document by the organization that lists its commitment to health and safety management, or its ways that the organization wants to manage its health and safety concerns.
Fantastic.
And most of the time it should just be about a page.
Fantastic. These scholarship students, you are very brilliant, you know. You are very brilliant, irrespective of how you have gotten the knowledge, because we are in the era of AI. AI can tell you everything, which is at least you are able to ask the right question and you're able to know it. You guys answered it very fantastic. Okay, very, very good job. You see, as you said, from what Afari said earlier, he got it. It's a document, yeah, that contains the rules and the procedures. Is a stake of the organization, their stand, their status when it comes to health and safety. That is the policy, health and safety policy. Okay. Then he also Ebena mentioned another point. He said it's a one-page document. So get it very clearly. It's a one-page document. And another thing you must understand in the policy also, that policy must be signed by the ND chief executive or the head of that organization. It have to be signed. Okay, so that is the policy. So that policy is now a statement to say everyone must comply to health and safety according to the rules and order. So if the safety officer should be giving instruction, he's giving instruction based on that law. It becomes the law of that organization. The safety officer can go to the site and say, based on our policy, if this equipment is not available for workers, the site should close. The project manager, the chief architect, or whoever is the senior of that project, they cannot proceed. They are not looking at the young girl or the young boy speaking. They are looking at the authority that she's speaking upon, which is the policy, the law of the organization, irrespective of the size of that very safety officer speaking. That is policy. Okay? So, and that is what the standard is globally, whether in America, whether in UK, in Nigeria, or Ghana, or Cameroon, anywhere. Now, we have another element you must understand when it comes to safety administration, which is management. Organizing. Organizing is putting together the elements, the instructions, who does what, employer, employees, contractors, arranging your documents, your job procedures, find out if there are procedures also in place. You need to find out if there are procedures in place in warehousing, in storage department, in chemical department, in mechanical department, in engineering, electrical. What are the structures in place to organize them in managing safety? You have to know and you have to put it together. That is where what we call the safety manual comes in. The safety manual can be 50 pages, 100 pages, it doesn't matter, any page. That is where all the departments, depending on the size of that organization, are stipulated. What needs to be done, your attitude, your behavior. How do you organize yourself in the site, in the office, in the workshop? Is stipulated there. The third one is planning and implementation. Remember, in planning and implementation, we talked about plan, do, study, act, which is for you to plan, you carry it out, you study if the people are okay with it, you study if there are complaints, if there are unacceptability, then you need to act. You need to change the system. You need to change the strategy. You need to change the method you have used. You are the one to do all this, not your safety manager, or maybe not your MD chief executive. Then the fourth one is to evaluate, which is the monitoring, review, and measurement and investigation. This can be found into the plan, do, study, acts we saw in the clip we watched earlier. The next one have to be audit. Audit is all about checking what is left, what you do not add in from your policy, your organizing, your planning, your implementation. You check everything. Do you understand? So in that process, you now have to now take action for improvement. You have to take action for improvement. You have to, if it's an existing document you met as a safety professional, you have to review it and recommend your actions to the managing director to approve. Maybe, for example, workers need to be in the site. Even when the site closed, they are still in the site till 8 or 9 p.m., 7 p.m. But according to the instructions, or according to the work order, 6 p.m. everyone should leave the site. So you may discover that coming in as a safety personnel, you notice that some people still have to be hanging within the site till late. So you need to now come up with a new action and say, look, one site closed 6 p.m. Everyone have extra 10 minutes to leave the site, and site have to be locked up. It's an action. Why did you say so? Because at that point, anything can go wrong. Somebody can touch an equipment, something can collapse. Somebody can just, because work have closed, can carry out one unsafe attitude or action that can put the workplace ablaze. I don't know if you understood these guidelines. It's very, very key and very, very important. As a safety, no matter your position or no matter, so far you are passing through this knowledge, you have to understand these processes. If you are getting my point with all my stories and explanation, can you put on the chat box 777, please? So going forward to the next agenda is, thank you, you are flowing, that's good. So the next agenda is employers' involvement in health and safety at work. An employer is the body. An employer is the body. Do you understand? What do you mean by a corporate body? Is the company. Somebody say you have a question, write it somewhere, keep it at the time of the questions we are going to answer on. Write it and hold on. So, employer is a body, is an organization. Example, you hear Coca-Cola. Example, you hear maybe Shell, Chevron. These are organizations. They have legal duties to make sure that health and safety at work is being complied to. they are held accountable of any nonchalant attitude or behaviors or conditions that can result to safety of any worker. They will be held accountable. So, and let me tell you something, for many of you that will be looking at becoming safety officer, becoming safety manager. I'm a civil engineer by profession. I practiced before I rechanneled my career to health and safety full-time, because that is where my passion diverted me to. Do you understand? Many of you may find yourself in that direction. Now, you need to understand that if you are given a role as a safety personnel, okay, in any organization, you are now the organization. You are not the legal entity the workers are saying. I remember those days when I was a safety engineer in Nigeria, in one of the road construction projects in Edo State. I was in Edo State in that road project for about a year. That is in Auchi, in Nigeria. Now, I was a safety engineer and one of the site's personnel, okay? Now, as a safety personnel, I placed critical roles in making sure all the workers, both the villagers we recruited, everybody complied to safety, everybody follow instructions. I'm always teaching them, directing them, and controlling different kind of human beings, crazy people, mad people, intelligent people, graduates, suppliers, everybody I control. Because we have different kind of mentality and brains at the work site. For many of you that are engineer, you understand what I'm talking about. So many of them, their head are not correct. Maybe those that are doing excavation, they need to take extra powers. They need to take extra energy to do the job. Especially where machines are not available, they have to do manually. Do you understand? So you that is a safety officer, you are looking one tiny, and somebody who is excavating 4 feet and 30 meters excavation can use one hand to carry you up. Imagine where you will not come, you say, look, John, you are not wearing your safety hand glove. Can you leave that excavation site? For the gentleman you are talking to, his mind, he will say, just come close and talk to me. Just come, don't stay far and talk, come close. So he will feel like if you come close, he will squeeze you and say, who is this one? Safety. Safety what? Do you understand? And in some cases, I experienced so many things where for those that are paid daily, for example, when their money are not being paid or delayed in that day, for many of you that are officials of the company that are left there, because when I experience a war sometime, and I learned lesson that once work is closing and accountant to pay daily workers are not available, I have to start looking for my own safety, even as a safety officer. I have to start looking for my own safety, because if I'm left in the site, accountant have not arrived, even me, I can't leave the site. They will use me and do exercise, because you become the manager at that point. You become the MD chief executive of the company at that point. So what am I trying to explain to you? You are the one the artisans are seeing. They are not seeing the MD chief executive. They don't care to know who owns the company. Their own is that they want their money. Their money at the end of the job. Do you understand? So in this case, you need to understand that you as a safety person, you are the employer, the workers, your followers are saying. You are the one they are saying. And you need to play in line with their responsibility as employer. Providing their safety shoes, giving them proper training, provide drinking water for them, provide necessary instructions for them, ensure that at the end of the day, everybody concerned are looked into. That is the law. Because the MD chief executive will not come to the site to do that. But this is the company responsibility. So who is the company? You, who's charged with that responsibility. In line with the story I just gave you earlier, I just remember now, even those days, I would use my personal water and buy cold chilled pure water that time. I will buy cool pure water and bring to my workers. Especially I use it to bribe them, for them to be able to build a good relationship with them, and for them to report those who are not complying to my instructions I gave in the morning. Those who are complaining to me, this man wasn't wearing his helmet, he was not doing this, he was jumping over the excavator. So those who give me feedback on safety matters, when I buy my cold water, they are the one I give priority, then keep the rest of the cold water to order, because we are working then under a very hot sun. Sun will be hitting you, so you can't take normal water, you need chilled cold water at that point. So all those things I do, they are the responsibility of the employer, the company, MD chief executive, in quotes. But as a safety person, you must have to carry on those tasks. You must build that relationship. You must cover up to ensure that people's health and safety is considered. The next one is the manager involvement is also in the same line. Do you understand? The manager involvement is also in the same line. Their roles are to ensure that at the end of the day, the policies are set up. The policies are, if there is no policy, you have to generate policy. If there is no specialized trainer, you have to become the trainer. If there is no instructor for anything at the site, you have to be the one to do it. If there is nobody to generate newsletters or communications or signposts, design some things, you are the one to do it. Do you understand? If somebody morale is going down and because of family issues is looking very unhappy and all that, you are the one to counsel the person and mentor that person to be able to ensure that they have good state of mind to do the job. If there are consequences, you are the one to sanction. Do you get the point now? So, if you are going to that level as a manager, you own these responsibilities and you have to ensure that health and safety were managed. You develop the procedures, you set up the standards. You don't need to wait. No, you have to do the needful. You don't need to say they didn't tell you. No, you have to use your brain. You have to, remember this training today. You have to research. You have to check what is existing and what needs to be on paper. You have to check what is on paper. Is it what the people are doing? I don't know if I'm making sense. So it's a very realistic, practical step. Safety is not theory, practical. Safety is practical. All these things you saw here on the screen is what you are to do if they say start work tomorrow. If they say start work tomorrow, these are what you have to look at and start doing them. Organize the employees, call a meeting, schedule a meeting, close of the work or beginning of the work. Do you understand? You are the one to do it. You are the one to check performances of the workers. Who is complying, who is not complying. Give instruction, give narrations, review their performances, report to ND Chief Executive those who are not compliant. We have told you before that people are part of the hazard. Don't think it's only the equipment that are there at the hazard. The people you are looking at wearing suit and wearing tie, wearing nice shirt, they are the people who are also part of the hazard. So when they don't want to listen, you have used so many strategies You have sent emails, you have sent articles, you have visited them in the office to talk to them. They tell you they are busy, they are in another meeting, safety, wait, next time. Because at that point, your name will become safety. Your name will not be Olumide again. Your name will not be Emmanuel again. Your name will not be Jacinta again. Your name becomes safety. In a very rough site, in most cases, they will call you the police if you are very straight to them. So you need to be straight and friendly and welcoming at the same time. At the same time, there are things you can see. You walk the person off the site. Of course. You check and monitor and check the performance further in the next 1 week if there are changes to the behavior. If there is no change to the behavior, you report to the chief executive for replacement. Because if he's there, he's going to cause a collapse or a damage that can bring the whole company down. Because of one unsafe attitude or behavior, such a person is exhibiting, and you are tolerating it and say it's from my tribe, it's from my village, it's from my brother, sister, it's my uncle, son, is this, is that, then he will cause a disaster that will cause you a big challenge. That is the way safety works. Working with contractors and consultants, it can be very challenging. Because in most cases, they will tell you, these your instructions are becoming too much, that in their own company, they also have safety officers. Yes, you need to let them know, yes, you understand that point, but in this terrain, because of the situation, they have to follow this rule. Because they have to return back alive, they have to follow this rule. When he gets back to his office or his company, they can follow that method, but here, this is our method. Do you get? Because he may tell you, look, in my company, there is no need for scaffolding. With ladder, I can do this job. You say, no, ladder cannot do this job from what you are saying and from what you have explained. Please, can they install scaffolding, please, for this job? He will tell you, we have been using ladder to do this job since 10 years now. He will even show you pictures. Okay, look at it. Yes, I have seen the pictures and I can see you did it XYZ company. But in this company, please, for the sake of our policy, you have to install scaffolding. What is he running after? He just wants to use ladder to do a sharp job. Because if he's going to erect scaffolding, it's going to cost them some little money. They want to save money. And he wants to do a sharp job. At whose expense or at whose detriment? Or at whose... Because once the game happens, it happens in your site, not in their site. Where did the accident happen? Is here. Not in their site. Who caused the accident? Nobody knows. What somebody will say, somebody died in this company. Simple. Nobody cared to know who caused the accident. How did the man die? What the public know is somebody died in this company. Now, the reputation of the company is at risk. I don't know if I'm making sense. So, safety is not a direct thinking. You think from start to finish. Can you put on the chat box, thinking from start to finish? Because in Africa, the people I know very well, majority think upside down. Majority think incomplete. Majority will tell you, let's just start. I don't know if you have heard that statement before, anywhere. They say, let's just start first. When we get there, we shall cross. I don't know if you have heard that statement before. These are African thinking and mentality. They will tell you when we get to the bridge. Is it the bridge or the river? I've forgotten. When we get to the bridge or when we get to the river, we'll cross. Now, how are you going to cross? They won't tell you. What kind of size of river are you crossing when you get there? They don't know. So how will you solve the problem when you get to the river or when you go to the bridge? Do you understand? So these are cases that safety does not tolerate. Safety don't tolerate it. Safety don't like it. Safety don't condone such people around the work site or around the workers, the work environment. Do you understand? So these are things you need to know. You need to make sure that the employers, the contractors understands your point. Do you get? You need to make sure that you stand your ground to say the administration here is different from the administration in your organization. That is management. There is no presidency of a country or minister of a country that you changes that the same office, they will begin to add the same. No, everybody their own method. Everybody their own method. Now, the public or the citizens are to do what? To watch and see. Now, the 4 key issues you need to now consider here is what? Communication, cooperation, control, and what? Competency. Remove one of these 4 elements, you are incomplete. Remove one of these 4 core elements, you are incomplete professional. You are what? Incomplete professional. I have seen so many people like that who are safety professionals during safety auditing in some organization. Once looking at their face is not welcoming. Their face is not welcoming. Then you'll be wondering, how is this fellow communicating with his colleagues, even with visitors, even with those in the site? Do you get? Cooperation is not there. Cooperation is not a spirit. You have to create it. Communication is not a law. You have to create it. Control. You need to be in charge. Competency. The intelligence must be there. What is competency? Competency is understanding the strategy or the method you are to use to address a challenge. What is a challenge? You want to talk to the contractor. The way you will talk to the contractor you are seeing for the first time is different from the way you are going to talk to the artisans that you just brought in from the roadside. So is the competency, your intelligence, how do you address the two things? The communication level here and the communication level here is not the same. The instruction of these both people coming in the same company is not the same. That is intelligence. Do you get? I'm talking to 4 classes of human beings in this class now. We have people who register for managers. We have people who register for supervisors. We have people who register for officers' course. We have people who are young babies in the industry. So if I was talking to any managers, possibly the one I'm addressing this class, that is not the one I'm going to address it. Because I will using some languages I know, even the managers, because they are not new to safety, so they will understand my language. But if I use that method in this class, by the time I'm done, you will see so many questions here. A lot of people will ask you, please, you mentioned this acronym, what does it mean? You mentioned this, what does it mean? You mentioned that, what does it mean? Reason because even you that is talking to the people in the site, you have illiterates, you have unilliterate, you have learned and unlearned. You must know how you communicate in multi-language, in multi-understanding, in the same point at the same instant. That is intelligence. That is intelligence. Because you address so many problems at the same time. And that is what is required. Communicate very well, cooperate with people, control, be in control. You don't have to say you are cooperating. They now told you, do this, you do. You say no, because you want to cooperate. No. You still need to be in charge to say, no, we can't follow it this way, please. Mr. John, we can't follow it this way. We have to do this, we have to do that first before we get into this. You can't say because you are cooperating, you are smiling, you are talking to your visitor, anyone they now said, we'll go and do this, or it's okay, no problem. Please do it safely. Who told you to go safely? When you have not done the real thinking on how the job to be done safely. Now, going through to next, supervisor's involvement is the same way. Responsibility differs. In some organizations, they only have health and safety supervisor. In some organizations, they have managers, supervisor officers. In some organizations, they have superintendents or directors, managers, supervisors, depending on the size of the company. Do you get? But in any way it is, what are the roles of the supervisors? The word supervision, what does it mean? They are to ensure zero tolerance, ensure zero incidents. How? Planning, monitoring proactively, measuring performance, seeing ahead, through auditing to know the channels, the sources, incident can happen. Blocking those ways, making sure that day to day, week to week, year to year, nothing happens. That's their work. Developing good working relationship. Making sure everybody consigns are listened to, are welcomed, are treated, are provided. Handle conflicts and violence. Do you get? With necessary disciplinary precautions, organizing training and development. Do you understand? These are the things required at the outcome of a safety manager or a safety supervisor. Employees and stakeholders, you are in control. You have to know you are in control. You have to know what? You are in control. You have to know you are in control. That is the way it works. Give me 1 minute. Let me take some sip of water, then I'll continue. But before then, if you believe so much in what we are doing, can you put on the chat box and follow it? On the chat box and follow. Yeah, I'm fine and good now. That is part of safety. That is good. So going forward to, you are following, that is good. Going forward to what I'm saying, employees and other stakeholders need to make sure they comply to your rules and order, comply to your instructions, whether they are coming for whatever they are coming to do. Do you understand? They need to make sure they comply. So you don't have to say, okay, you welcome, they were doing this way in their organization, you have to welcome. No. You have to carry out an induction and make sure that the induction you are giving them, they comply to it. They comply to the induction accordingly, and you follow up to make sure that all the necessary risk you have identified at the course of their job, that you monitor to ensure that they are giving attention to it. That is what I'm trying to say. And in going forward, in the safety representatives, that is in the case where the company or the organization have a representative. Now, there is need for you to make sure that you cooperate with that representative, whether it's coming from a trade union, it's coming from an organization, it's coming from a government agencies, or it's coming from an authority. You have to make sure there is cooperation. You build the right relationship to make sure you cooperate with them, you pursue the same cause, the same goal. What is the goal of everybody? To make sure no incident, no accident. To make sure the site, the workplace is safe. Do you understand? That is the goal of everybody, irrespective of the position or the title you want to give yourself, or you want to give whoever it is. You have to make sure that there is cooperation in the whole understanding. The representative most times have their own views. They have their own strategy. Listen to them, hear their own understanding. Then you that is also in charge, because you need to always play to be in charge. So you need to explain where you need to explain and make sure that they get your cause. And in most cases, you can also learn from them. Maybe there are things you are not saying because you may not see that is a problem. At the end of the day, it can be a major problem because you are in an organization, you are following a procedure, you are seeing something, you may not really see a problem to that. But somebody from outside may come in and be able to see a problem to that. So there is possibility of also learning from other colleagues, other representatives who are coming close to your site or to your work environment or to what you are doing, even if you are not a safety officer. Maybe you are just used to installation in this way. Somebody will say, this is not the best way to install it. You can follow this way to do installation. Fine, that is teaching you a safer way. You can follow the same way and do it more safer. Do you understand? Now, there are different ways to make sure you achieve this. What are those ways? Is to what? To identify hazard, investigate accidents, incidents if it should happen. Investigate accident. Do you understand? Then investigate every complaint by the employees or by the artisans. Investigate. Carry out safety inspections. Always don't sit in the office and be waiting. Carry out safety inspections. Do you understand? Carry out safety inspections. Then be very, very attention to details. Pay attention to details. These are where so many safety professionals miss it. They don't pay attention to details. They take everything the way it goes. They just believe that every other people have their own intelligence or their brain. They should be able to do the needful. No, it's wrong. You have to follow everybody as if they know nothing in their job and they know nothing in what they are doing. That is the only way you can get it. And you have to do that with cooperation. You have to do that with understanding gradually. You have to achieve that at the end of the day. That is the way it works. Do you understand? You have to make sure you carry everybody along. The next in line, very key, is what? Safety committee, which is very good. Irrespective of the level of the company you are, whether 2 or 3 or 4, there is good to form a committee, especially where you have up to 5 departments, 3 departments. You can be 3 to form a committee. In your department, what are the safety incidents you are saying? What are things that are not done right? What are the hazards you have identified? That is the purpose of safety committee. So you pick one from all departments, they form a committee to discuss the safety goal of your organization, to discuss the best way to ensure that safety is achieved in your workplace. That is the work of a safety committee. To promote safety, to guide on the process, do you understand? Guide on the promotion of safety, monitor process, advise accordingly where need arises. Working together is something that is very, very key. Working together we have discussed this over time, so, and I have given a lot of scenario to that. It's something that you must have intelligence to know how you do that. Make sure that there is working together. And from safety culture of yesterday, I believe that was well treated when it comes to working together, making sure you are giving necessary briefing, necessary consultation, motivating the workforce, giving incentive, providing takeaways, providing additional responsibility. Give yourself additional responsibility. Write articles. Make sure that there are ways you contribute to a better workplace, a better communication, a better understanding when it comes to health and safety. That is the summary of the clip you watched earlier. I think I have given a very laid down understanding of it through this presentation. Thank you so much, and I believe we are good for question and answer now. So kindly raise your hand for questions, and we take it off from there. And also your input is highly welcome, please. Yes? Any questions to this very slide presentation? And some of our team, our executives that are, if any of them are here, have arrived and not following up, then they can be able to give some inputs and also give some contribution to this. Yeah. Can you raise your hand to ask your question if there are questions? We have 10-15 minutes to close the class, so let's use that to wrap up the rest of the topics, please. Thank you. Go ahead, please. Harifa, we cannot hear you. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity again. In fact, today's presentation has been so impactful and insightful. Regards to the committee, safety committee is what I want to chip in. You know, when you are forming safety committee, I think it's necessary to add the low class people on board to also accept their contribution. Because I was schooling and I was assigned to have my internship with a mining company, and they were doing resettlement project, and I was assigned to supervise that project. And you know, resettlement, there is surveyors, there is constructors, and a lot of all the professionals are on board. So I have to form a meeting with safety reps who can support my activities over there. So when I get to the block department, those who were the block models, as I went there, they were mixing the sand with their barefooted, and they have just scattered the cement papers around. And it was very hard for me to handle such case. So I called one of them, and I was asking her, do you know the negative impact of you using your bare handed to make the sand and the cement? He said, oh, we have been doing it all along. We haven't been affected with anything. And I said, okay, you will be affected with biological hazard and even physical hazard. That water that's been there, is full of chemical, because cement is chemical. And when it gets into your system, it was going to affect you, not instantly, but it will be chronic in years to come. So as I advised him that, he just went there and tried to engage his people, his colleagues that he was working with, that, oh, let's go and wear our safety boots. So my next visit, I tried to form a committee with those people that you today, whenever you use a cement, see to it that the empty sack will be packed separately. When you are mixing the sand, see that everybody is on his or her full PPEs before every activity will carry on. So as I was able to engage them, from there onwards, my work was very easier for me. So when we are forming a safety committee, we should try to bring the low people on board, so that they also give a testimony to their colleagues, so that they can comply with the policy, so that our work will be safer and healthier. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much for that. I will address that. Let's hear the second person, please. Somebody, is it Mary Jane or Maria? So trying to find the name again. Can you go ahead, please? Somebody who raised his hand earlier, is that Mary Jane, NGA?
Good evening, sir.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, my question is regarding the safety committee. Do they need a special training?
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, let me address the 2 points. Yes, from Arefa earlier was talking about safety committee picking people from the lower cadres is very, very necessary. You are the one that need to advise the director who, for example, in an organization, if you should write to all the department to give you one person to form a safety committee. Do you understand? So you can be able to tell the director, okay, you need somebody at this level or you need somebody at this level. So it depends on you, but in most cases, it's difficult for a department to give you 2 persons from that department. It's basically 1 person most times. So you are the one, depending on the nature of the risk or the problems, then you can be able to indicate the level of who to join that committee. So that's within your discretion, based on the nature of the job, based on the operation, based on what you want to achieve from the committee. Do you get what I'm saying? So you can't say this is the standard. No, it's based on what your brain is saying, what your eyes is saying, what the operation is. You determine the category of people to join. That is on that note. Then on another note is the special training. No, there is no training required. Yeah, you can have refreshers, in-house training if the need applies. But the purpose of that committee is to have a representative who passes information to the rest of the department based on what safety department is doing. That is the purpose of that very committees. Thank you so much. Any other further question? Any other further questions? Some people wrote questions earlier on today. Can we have those questions, please? Then we can address them accordingly. Or input, if you have contribution. Okay, let me call on, I know somebody from Nigeria who is here, who is also a trainer. I think he can contribute 5 minutes to the subject of this matter. In the person of Engineer Obike Promise, can you give us your own input on the subject matter, if you are free to talk? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Can you hear me? Thank you, Engineer Dr. Emmanuel Uwalaka, for this insightful training you're giving us today. I can see from the chat box the students are happy. Part one of the students, I hope you can hear me.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, like I was saying, one of the students came to my DM on WhatsApp and was saying that today's Zoom was very wonderful, that if she wish she joined earlier and she can get the materials. So in addition to what you said, the class is a mix-up of professionals and seemingly novice, the scholarship scheme officer, those who register for officers, supervisors, and the managerial course. And I actually love the way Engineer Emmanuel did the work today, the way he brought it down so that everybody can follow suit, especially in communication. From his experience in the industry, I've known him as a very wonderful man, a good trainer. You can see how he did justice to it. So from my own experience, I agree to everything that you have said. And just to add to it, safety is a mindset. is a mindset, and we, by the virtue of this training, we have been exposed to that mindset. It's not until when we get to the industry that we will start developing the culture or tradition of safety. No, from your immediate environment, that thing that is not good, you avoid it, you speak up. It's when we develop that culture and that tradition as a person, then when you now get the opportunity to work as a safety professional, you see it naturally flowing from within. And even if you don't get opportunity as a safety professional, you can still be in the industry in other departments. You can always call out. You tell your colleague, don't do this, or don't do this. This thing is not good. It's not safe for you to do this. And when you don't speak up, if anything happens, it may also affect you. Somebody can initiate an unsafe act, and of course, unsafe condition, and maybe the person that initiated it might have gone that time. When the effects will start playing up, the person may not be there. It may be you, who is a novice, who don't even know what happened. That's who will now, the thing will now backfire. So the point here is that wherever we find ourselves, let us speak up. Let us see that we are doing something different, so that we can tell the world how to be safe. We can make our environment, our workplace, to be a safer place. So this is just my little contribution. Thank you so much. Hello, sir. Engineer, are you still there? Oh, was I talking to myself? I hope we heard what I said.
You are loud and clear, sir.
All right. Maybe he's not the trainer engineer. Dr. Emmanuel is out, maybe network or whatever. So let me see the question someone asked. Please, how can we implement safety policies to the high level people in the organization? How we can implement safety policies? Yes, it's achievable. It starts by you knowing, if you come into an organization, you first of all, you observe, you know the hazards, you do a risk assessment of the organization. You know things that are not going in the right order. It starts from you. If you walk into an environment now, let's say a working environment, you identify the hazards there. You do what we call it risk assessments. You do an analysis. You do an overhauling of the environment and see where
Okay, yeah, sorry, I was cut off in another emergency call. So at this point, I think Engineer Obike, you have done very great inputs at this point. So I will want to call on the governor and the deputy governor to make their input, because I have another meeting they're expecting me to gamble into at the moment. Thank you. The governor, over to you, please. Thank you.
All right, sir. Please, engineer, also attend to that last question. I was trying to attend to it before I had something to do here. There's a last question.
What was the question, please?
You can check the chat box. It said,
can you read the question so I can see?
Please, how can we implement safety policies to the high level people in the organization?
Implementing safety policies in the high level people in organization. That question is not very direct, because the safety policies start from the high level people. There is no lower staff that can make any policy in an organization. All policies is from the MD chief executive, from the chairman, and from the top management. So that is where the safety policy. If they don't welcome safety, there is no safety in that organization. If they welcome it, then they can drive it. That's the way it works. Thank you. Any other inputs or questions? Any other input or questions? Okay, they govern over to you for the closure of the class, then your report, then tomorrow we take off from there on the fire safety from John Flynn from the UK also. Thank you. If the governor is not in class, deputy governor can take over. Somebody raise up his hand, go ahead, please.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Okay, my concern, hope you are getting me well.
Go ahead, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, my concern here is about the slides that have been discussed here. It's been impactful and insightful. And also, some of us here, we don't receive these slides here in our email. So I don't know how we can get it, because we have to go over them before our exam.
Okay, thank you so much. Which country are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Gambia, the Gambia.
Okay. You're one of the scholarship students?
Yes.
Okay, the scholarship students, this very topic is not meant for you because the scholarship is only to focus on course 101 and 109. This is course 103. It's not part of your curriculum, please.
Okay, thank you very much.
No, but it's for you. That is why what the H was saying in the beginning. All the classes is good for you to learn for your own knowledge and for your own education. That is why you are all encouraged to start the class and end this in 2 weeks' time. Thank you so much. Any other inputs?
Okay, so that means so our exam will be based on the course
101 and 109.
Okay, thank you very much, engineer.
Thank you so much, please.
Okay.
The deputy governor, over to you, please. Thank you, everyone, and I'm very happy that we have come to the end of this session. Then tomorrow we take it off from there. Thank you, and have a very nice evening.
Okay, good evening, everyone. As we have come to the end of this training session today, first of all, I want to thank everyone for their time, their focus, and their willingness to learn. So it doesn't matter if we are professionals here, or we are new to workplace safety, or we are just refreshing our knowledge. The participation in this topic today shows that we take health and safety seriously. And that is a big step into building a safer working culture. So from today's section, it shows that safety is not just about checking the box. It is very essential. It is very necessary, because every regulation, every procedure, every piece of equipment, it has one goal, which is to save and protect life. So we should always remember that safety does not just happen. It starts with us, it starts with you, it starts with me. And it's not something we just think about one day and we forget about it the next day. It's something we need to keep applying. It's something we need to speak about all the time. It's something we need to look out for every day of our life. So thank you all for being part of this section, and thank you for also taking a proactive step in making a safer workplace for all of us. We need to stay safe, stay alert, and carry this awareness with us everywhere we go. As the saying goes, that it's one thing to learn, it's one thing to also implement. So thank you all for your time today, and wishing all of you a good night rest. Thank you.
Can we unmute ourselves and shout out to everyone? Thank you so much. Good night, all. Unmute yourself. We are coming to the close of this today's class. See you all tomorrow.
All right. Good night, everyone. Good night. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the lecture.
Good night. Thanks for the lecture. I really appreciate it. God bless us. So.
Nice.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.